Ladies and gentlemen, it is July 12th of 2019 as the Fight Society ushers in a new era. It is the Friday Night Fights. My name's Jim Aminata, being joined by one classic Ken Colquitt. A new chapter of the Fight Society. What chaos, what mayhem, what Fight Society action will unfold here tonight in the battlegrounds.
You're talking about some chaos, Jim. Last time Patrick Hayes was in the ring here, he stirred up a little controversy and chaos mentioning the one Brandon K. So I think it should be interesting to see what he has to say here.
Brandon K was a pillar of the PWX promotion, the predecessor of the Fight Society, but the argument could be made that that torch now belongs to Patrick Hayes himself. As you said, a lot of animosity between a former Fight Society champion and the current owner of the Rise promotion.
All right, let's hear what he has to say, Jim.
Real quick, I'm going to say this on behalf of all the guys and girls in the back. Thank you for coming out to the opening night, Friday Night Fights. Friday Night Fights. When you inside the battlegrounds last month, I laid out the biggest challenge of my life. And that was to first class Brandon K. Now my challenge has been, as far as I know, unaccepted up until this point. So I'm laying it out one more time on the opening night, Friday Night Fight, right here in the battleground in front of all of you. Brandon K, come on out here so I can kick your ass.
Hayes making his intentions very, very clear.
Plain and simple there. Well, we know that music, Jim.
That's not Brandon K. Hayes looks a little confused. He wasn't expecting this music. A man we saw go to war with Beastman the last time he was in this building, one classic Chris Helmsly. And what does Helmsly, what's his business out here?
He got a mic too. Let's see what he got to say.
You know, first of all, you all look like animals, and animals belong in a cage. Thank you very much. You look like
I could see the resemblance.
Lately, it seems that the roles are reversed a little bit. You wabbly wabbit. You've had the worst year in your career. But meanwhile, you know, why don't you shut up? Take your own advice. I don't want to hear from you either. I, on the other hand, have done nothing but bask in the glory that is 2019. I became the first Fight Society Contenders champion. Shut him up, Patrick. I earned the respect of my peers and these idiots by wrestling a bloodbath and beating Paul Atlas 2 months ago.
He did pin Paul Atlas, that's true.
Well, why don't you shut up and let me finish?
And it seems, like I said, that the roles are reversed because now all you do is come out here and bitch and bitch and bitch. And if you don't remember, I'm the one who cost you the Fight Society Championship. So it seems like you become my bitch.
And Hayes has had enough of the disrespect. He smacked Helmsley right in the mouth. And true to the name, the Friday Night Fight Series has started right here. Hayes is unloading on Chris Helmsly.
Hayes throwing close fists in there, and a flurry of them. Now catching Helmsly with a clothesline.
This is not an official matchup. This is a damn fight, and it's spilling out to the floor. The ring will not contain this animosity.
Hayes is out after him.
And this is becoming a very bitter fight.
Hayes putting the brakes on.
And if this isn't going to be an official matchup, we need some help or something out here. And where is Hayes taking Helmsly?
He's taking Helmsly into the crowd.
I don't know what the hell he hit him with, but it was effective. Hayes is quite literally beating Helmsly all around this building.
Yeah, we're taking a tour of the battlegrounds here. And we're going back inside of the barricade.
And I believe that young lady's blood pressure is just spiked. And I can't blame her because this is an unfiltered fight right here. And I believe Helmsly just went low on Hayes. That'll stop anybody in their tracks. Hayes gets posted, bouncing off the steel post. And again, this is not a matchup. This is just an unadulterated fight. And now Hayes has hardware. Look out. Steel chair across the spine, echoing throughout the battlegrounds here in McKeesport.
If I'm Hayes, I'm not letting up on him. I'm going in the ring and I'm going to start beating him with that chair again.
Is anybody going to stop this thing? I don't think security wants to even get involved in this, Ken.
Hayes took offense to being called a bitch. Hayes might be a lot of things, but I don't think he's anybody's bitch, Jim.
Hayes has a ladder. Look out. The danger is escalating here very quickly, and we need some help out here to break this thing up.
Yep, he now has a chain in hand.
Because Hayes may look to break the body of Chris Helmsly.
And again with the chair.
Helmsly ran his mouth, and he is paying for it, and he's paying for it big time. Helmsley's mouth wrote a check that his body isn't going to be able to cash.
That ladder looks a little beat up already.
And if it's up to Hayes, he's going to leave Helmsley's body in a lot of broken pieces as he is now twisting away with the sharpshooter.
And he's tapping out there. There's no ref for anything, Jim. Wait, here we got George.
Referee George going to try to convince Patrick Hayes. And Hayes informing referee George he has no official authority at this juncture.
It is called the Fight Society, Jim, and this is a fight.
I don't think Hayes is going to be content.
Helmsly has the chain.
Look out. And he just decked, you heard that, he decked Hayes right between the eyes.
Straight sucker punch with a chain.
And now that ladder bending under the body of Patrick Hayes.
Helmsly looking for the pedigree. And he may have just knocked Hayes out, Jim.
One way or another, Helmsly has just left a former Fight Society champion laying in the ring here. Oh, this is bad, Ken.
Hayes may be paying for those chair shots he gave Helmsly earlier.
Helmsly, we know this guy is merciless. He will not hesitate to end someone's career. And again, I'm going to say, if anybody can hear me, let's get some help out here.
He may be thinking one-man concerto here, Jim?
No, 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 no. Oh, no. Hayes is unconscious.
If he wasn't before, he is now.
Because
And the Zebra Squad's out.
They need to get Helmsly away from Hayes, and they need a doctor out here right now. Hayes hasn't moved.
Hayes may have to take him to a medical facility, Jim.
Hayes has no idea where he is. He is just now coming to. And Hayes is clutching his head.
We're going to have to be careful getting him out of the ring here, Jim.
Yeah, I think we're going to step away here so we can allow them to get Hayes out of the ring. Clearly, Patrick Hayes Hayes is going to a hospital, obviously, at the hands of classic Chris Helmsly. The last time we saw this very macabre individual here in this building, he had a barn burner contest with one AJ Alexander. But this Lucio De Veers looks to be in amazing shape, but he is just as demented. This guy is frothing at the mouth for competition, and he's come to the right place. Fist up, throw down for Lucio De Veers. Perhaps a man just as eccentric as his opponent, the homemade superhero, Danny Abel.
What do you think it's like living in his mind? He's a one-man multiverse. What is that?
I'm not even going to try to get into that.
I mean, is that a kind way of saying he has split personalities or what?
No, he really knows how to motivate himself. He's a very positive performer. But he is in there with one dangerous customer in Lucio De Veers. I'm really looking forward to see how this one shakes out here.
And Lucio is still looking for his first win in the Fight Society, Jim.
Certainly, Lucio De Veers with a man has his back against the wall. He needs a good showing here. But speaking of showing, Danny Abel showing that amateur background. Takes Lucio down with a double leg.
Yeah, but De Veers quickly back to his feet.
Waistlock. Floats over into a front chantry. You control the head, you control the body.
Nice fireman's carry.
Smooth transition, shoulders down, but Lucio showing the skills of a professional. Got his shoulders off the canvas immediately.
And ref numbnuts only counted a one there anyhow.
Wise wrestling from Abel. Maintain control of the arm. Transitions yet again into the side Russian leg sweep.
Nice elbow drop.
Cover here. And again, I'm going to tell you, Lucio knows what's on the line here. He knows how important it is to make a good impression. He is getting his shoulders off the canvas immediately each and every time. Lucio out the back door. Buries the knee into the breadbasket, and this is where the roughneck nature of Lucio De Veers can really come into play.
Oh, big clothesline, Jim.
He floored Abel that time.
I mean, he hasn't been here too many times, but he hasn't had a win yet. And that's got to be shown to the Commissioner of Chaos and Paul Atlas that, you know.
And that's what I'm telling you. Lucio's got nothing. He's got nothing to lose right now because he just used his body as a weapon. Let's be honest here. Lucio De Veers is willing to hurt himself to inflict damage on his opponent. That's why this guy is so dangerous.
Nice. Back and Abel into the corner with a chop.
Abel avoids the contact. Lucio does not that time. Abel very proud of himself, but he can't hesitate against Lucio De Vere.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Jim.
He is a tough customer, Ken. Ken, what do you think happened in the life of Lucio De Vere and he ends up looking like that? Freud would have a field day with this guy.
And he's not all there, I can say that. Nice face plant.
Innovative maneuver from Lucio.
You got to give Abel credit there for grabbing the rope as close as they were.
IQ from Danny Abel, as you said. Knew where he was inside the squared circle there.
Lucio with a nice right hand. And
Abel may be from the multiverse, but he looks like he's on Dream Street right now. He is really staggered at this point in the contest. And Lucio starting to put the offense together.
I got to think the ref was out of position on that one, Jim. That's why the count was slow. Lucio, you can't play to the crowd here, man. You got to stay on him.
I don't know if he's hearing the voices of our crowd here in McKeesport or if he's hearing voices in his head.
Shut your mouth. Taking too much time here.
Yeah, Lucio cannot hesitate. Drops the elbow right to the heart. Forces Abel to expend the energy to extricate himself there.
I like what Lucio's doing, Jim. He's hitting a move. He's going for a pin. He's making Danny use his energy to kick out of his pins every time. And even every time he pins him, he's getting closer and closer to that 3 count because Danny's losing the energy.
Lucio ducked his head and got caught.
Ducked early.
Abel sends him in. Abel telegraphed it and paid for it. Caught a boot right in the mush. Lucio caught him. And man, that was nasty. He launched Danny Abel into the corner. And this time, Lucio making sure he drags Abel away from those ropes. And to your point earlier, Ken, Abel had to use that energy to get his shoulder off the canvas.
He didn't have enough weight distributed across the shoulders to keep Danny's right shoulder down there, Jim.
Not enough body-on-body contact.
Nope, not at all.
And Ken, I truly believe that matches such as this really personify the Fight Society philosophy as Lucio, big-time contact in the corner, and a follow-up could have an upset here. And mere inches away that time from an upset.
He's having a good showing here, Jim. I will give him that.
Perhaps this tunnel vision is really the only flaw in the game that we've seen of Lucio De Vere's.
He's too worried about what these idiots in McKeesport are saying.
Took too long, and he paid for it.
That he did. Abel to move out of the way to senton.
Abel.
I realized it after I said it, Jim.
I was agreeing with you. He avoided the contact, thankfully.
Yeah, but it just didn't sound right. Abel.
Fisticuff center ring here.
The real question is Abel able to get a win here?
This one's breaking down. No more finesse in this contest.
Nice forearms.
Abel getting the better of the exchange here. And a nice transition here. Look out. Beautiful overhead throw.
Couple of nice suplexes out of Danny Abel.
You know, Ken, with as eccentric as Danny Abel is, he really can string together the maneuvers inside the squared circle.
What's Abel thinking here, Jim? He's clear across the ring and he's going up.
Where is he going?
What is he thinking?
He may try to fly across the multiverse.
Coast to coast drop kick, Jim.
I don't know how much he got of it, but he may have gotten enough.
And you see Abel pulling Lucio out of the corner, away from the ropes. But Lucio wisely grabbing onto that bottom rope.
Lucio's hanging on for dear life. Abel is trying to twist and contort the leg.
He's pulling himself to his feet here.
Man, Lucio's going to fight tooth and nail. He's not going to let this opportunity go by.
DVD.
Death Valley driver plants Abel down to the canvas.
This could be it. That should have been a 3 count. Come on.
I think it's Fight Society rules, correct? That's no DQ.
I thought so.
A mistake from Jay Hutchie.
Well, he's a referee numbnuts anyhow.
No, wait. Lucio cannot allow. The matchup is still going on.
Yep.
Missed call or not, Lucio hesitated, and he paid for it.
Took his mind off the prizes for a minute. Danny able to take care of business. And Danny going to the ropes again.
He's on that second rope. He could be going for a home run swing here.
I don't think we've seen Danny use his ropes too much in the past, Jim.
Dropping the elbow at the awkward angle, and he got it.
Abel with a big win.
Your winner, the one-man multiverse,
And Jim Lucio still without a win in the Fight Society.
I gotta tell you though, I was impressed with that in-ring action. It was only the tunnel vision of Lucio De Veers that may have cost him. But one way or another, Danny Abel is making his case here in the Fight Society. He is victorious. What's next for the master of the multiverse?
What's up, Battlegrounds? You guys enjoying the show so far? So joining me at this time, the #1 contender for the Fight Society Heavyweight Championship, Shirley Doe!
He is a Pittsburgh legend, a pioneer of Pittsburgh wrestling, and tonight he has the opportunity to obtain the only championship that he has not acquired throughout his nearly 25-year career.
But is it worth costing him his friendship with Beastman, Jim?
Shirley Doe, first of all, I want to thank you for joining me out here. Now tonight's a big night for you. It's been a crazy couple of months. Last month winning the triple threat match, and now cashing in the IndyWrestling.us Contenders title, becoming the #1 contender for the Fight Society Heavyweight Championship. The title that you never held before. How does that make you feel?
Doe looks ready.
I've been wrestling a long time, and I have never held the Fight Society title. This is the first Friday night fights in this building. How fired up are you people to see some fights? I don't know how much you know about me. I see some new faces out there, but nobody likes fighting more than me. Tonight, I have finally earned my place, the Battle Beastman, the Fight Society champion. He's my best friend, and I have to get in the middle of this ring and kick his ass tonight. Yeah, he probably will. Beastman's the toughest guy in Fight Society, but I'm the meanest. I'm the roughest. You're crazy. Who wants to see Beastman and me beat the hell out of each other tonight?
The Hellfire Club explodes.
Now, Bill, there's been rumors backstage that Beastman hasn't arrived yet. Let me tell you something. This is the second time I've had a shot against Beastman, and he hasn't showed up. Hey! Buttercup! How many buttercups you have before you came to the building tonight? I'm the good guy! I'm the good guy, and that's the way that I talk! Hey, I'm fat too! I'm sorry that I shame you, I'm fat too! Listen up! Beastman better be here tonight, because I want to hit him in the face with a chair! Because I want to hit him with barbed wire! So I want to drop him on his head with a silly head in the middle of this goddamn ring!
We may
I will not
we may see the most violent matchup in the history of the Fight Society. It is Sure We Do against the Beast Man. The Hellfire Club collides tonight.
Approaching the ring, representing the defending Fight Society Triple Crown Champions, Team Fear. First, we have currently ranked number 13 with 5 victories, hailing from the Fight State, Scarlet, and her partner, currently ranked number 7 with 10 fight victories, hailing from the French Quarter, Louisiana, the Pioneer Scarecrow, Christian Noir.
This macabre pair may be the 2 most dangerous athletes in the Fight Society.
And these old folks may be the oldest people in the Fight Society, Jim.
A rival.
Challengers, the team of the grumpy old men. First, currently ranked number 9 with 5 fight victories, and Altoona, Pennsylvania, the hero Tide Kato. And his partner, currently ranked number 8 with 8 fight victories, from Strongsville, Ohio, Crusher Helmsly.
A rivalry that has been brewing for several months may come to a head here. Let's not forget Team Fear took out Annabelle less than 4 weeks ago.
Now what's Paul Allen's got to say?
Paul wasn't scheduled out here, but when you're the fight director, Paul Atlas goes where he pleases, and he's got a mic in his hand.
Paul Atlas to abuse power again.
It's been chaos all night here at the Battlegrounds.
Welcome to Friday Night Fights! Is it hot enough in this bitch for you? Well, it's about to get hotter, because from this moment forward, if you've been following social media, I promised you I was going to shake shit up in this some gun. We can say shit now, yes.
Can we sit on a commentary too? Are we clear for that?
So, beginning
All right.
tonight, the Triple Crown Tag Team Championships are just a tag team championship of 2 men or women. I didn't forget, Scarlet, I know. The third belt, however, will still remain. The winner of the pinfall, that person runs the gauntlet that we talked about. So that begins right here, right now, tonight. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. See, I might be old, but I still know how to work the YouTube thing that they got out these days. It's really cool. And there's a couple of young guys out there that I've had my eye on. One of them comes right out of the Fight Institute right here at Fight Society, and the other has been to ROH and all the indies around the country. So tonight in this match, I want to bring out AJ Alexander and Ram.
Whoa, wait a minute. I thought we were having a standard tag team matchup. Apparently, we are shaking things up.
It's Paul Atlas stacking the deck against Team Fear again, Jim.
the master of the neck breaker and the Ring of Honor Dojo's Rayo. Rayo is coming in here with a lot of hype. He was scheduled to be here some months ago, but now he's going to have to live up to the hype. He's going to have to live up to a hell of a lot of hype because in his first night, he's going to get championship opportunity.
You know, Jim, I've had the privilege of seeing Rayo in action before, and he is impressive.
The native of Lima, Peru, the last Incan warrior.
Tag team match.
Crusher Hansen not understanding what's going on here. Pot, let's have to explain it to him again.
Hey Ken, did you know Crusher's first match was against Lincoln?
He's old, but I don't think he's that old, Jim. I don't like how the deck stacked against Team Fear, Jim. This is just wrong.
So many combustible elements here. The rivalry between Team Fear and the Grumpy Old Men, and then the wild card team of Rayo and AJ Alexander, who have never teamed before, are now thrust into this matchup as a team in a championship matchup.
And we have Rayo and Scarlet starting off. This is definitely a first time meeting.
Why am I wrestling a girl?
I think Rayo's going to get his lights knocked out before he ever gets started because Scarlet is a walking weapon. You underestimate Scarlet, pal, you're going to be back at the dojo.
Hey, if she's making sandwiches, I'll take a ham and cheese. Scarlet not having none of it. Showing how she can overpower Rayo.
I think Rayo's going to realize who he's in the ring with very, very quickly.
I think she might give him a sandwich, but not one he wants. I mean,
she's going to give him a knuckles. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't mean to jump on your line, but she's one half of the Triple Crown champions right now. But Rayo, we know he is a very agile young man. He's going to have to use all of that agility to stick and move when he's in there with Scarlet.
Nice tag by Scarlet. Bring Christian Noir into the match.
And as twisted as Scarlet is, Noir may be even more demented than that.
Noir just bringing him down by his arm.
Noir like a sadistic surgeon in there, using the leverage. And that, oh, that is nasty. That is.
Is he biting him or what is he doing there?
And Noir playing mind games. We know he has a PhD in psychological warfare.
Rayo with the side headlock.
Yeah, Rayo going to try to quite literally take some control of this matchup. Nice standing switch from Noir, who can get it done inside the ring ropes.
I bet he's never encountered anybody in the ROH dojo like Noir and Scarlet, Jim.
Yeah, Ken, if you can, please give our fans here some background on Rayo.
I know he's been all over the indies. Like I said, I've had the pleasure of seeing him once before. And he is very impressive in the ring. He's quick. He likes the high-flying style, which surprised me now when he's mat wrestling Noir, trying to get a tag here. Here we go.
And it looks like some tag team continuity, but I don't know.
Wait, are they on the same page here?
I don't know how well these two are going to get along. AJ in there. Noir up and over. Nice sweep frog from AJ. Beautiful drop kick. 2 feet firmly in the chest. What agility from the master of the neck breaker.
And Crusher tagging himself in, making himself legal into the match, Jim.
And here is some textbook offense from Crusher Hansen.
Big side slam. Crusher able to see Scarlet not coming out of the corner of his eye. Throws her down on top of him.
Using his veteran presence with a leverage maneuver.
Putting him in a bad position here, Jim.
I'm not commenting on this one, pal. Some miscommunication between Team Fear. Kato sandwiches everybody.
And the old man would have covered. Only able to get a 2 count.
Ken, I'm still reeling from the fact that Rayo, in his debut, he's unranked in the Fight Society, getting a championship shot. Clearly, his reputation has preceded him here, and he needs to make the most of this opportunity.
I might not like AJ Alexander, but he has been impressive in the ring, Jim, and putting these two together.
This matchup is breaking down very, very quickly. Look out! Up and over goes AJ.
And the old farts are the two left standing in the ring, Jim.
Over 40 years of combined ring experience from Crusher Hansen and Kato. Of course, Kato, a 2-time PWX heavyweight champion. Crusher Hansen held that title some 5 times in his career.
I don't think there's a title Crusher Hansen hasn't held, Jim.
And this is Crusher's wheelhouse, throwing those big right hands. He is a heavy, heavy hitter.
Vintage Crusher Hansen there, Jim.
Hooks the leg. And Ken, if you're Team Fear, how do you adjust? How do you adapt to this 3-team matchup here? There's no way they could have prepared for Rayo or even AJ Alexander for that matter.
No, they were prepared to take on 2 old farts, win the match easily. But no, then you throw these wild cards in there, and no, there was no way to prepare for them.
I don't think Noir wants to exchange shots with Hansen.
And Crusher got some of the hardest chops in the business, Jim. We're seeing picking Noir up. Might be a mistake here. He told him he was going to give her another one, and he did.
He delivered on that promise.
He did deliver.
And this is the plan for Crusher Hansen, to really dictate the pace of this contest. Crusher is a real ring general inside those ring ropes.
And being the veterans that him and Kato are, they know they have to keep Noir out of his corner or away from AJ Alexander's corner, because anybody could tag in at any time.
Yeah, certainly the strategy of this matchup multiplies exponentially because of how many variables are here.
And you saw right there, AJ tried to make a tag when he got ripped to the ropes.
Because if you're not in this matchup, you cannot win those titles.
That's right.
And for the first time in a long time, we are seeing Christian Noir in some real jeopardy here. Kato and Crusher have come to fight. They know that this is a rare championship opportunity.
Kato may have hurt his head there with that headbutt.
Noir ducked his head.
No, was that a tag? Or was that just a distraction technique?
Kato hesitated and he got chop blocked. Kato's effectiveness may have been shut down very quickly here. He's in a bad way. He clutched that knee immediately.
Scarlet comes in and goes straight to work on it.
And now just wrenching on the knee like a pit bull, latching onto the leg of Kato here.
Kato has to get to the corner. Scarlet with a knee DT.
Scarlet knows exactly what she's doing. preventing Kato from making the tag and continuing to inflict damage on the injured knee.
She may be looking for a third.
And look at Scarlet. She is deriving pleasure from hurting her opponents here.
And wisely putting herself between Kato and his corner, Jim. I like it.
And just blatant choking. Referee PJ Parker needs to step in here.
Kato's crawling to the corner where there's no team.
Look at the expression in Scarlet's eyes. And there we are seeing, as you mentioned, an impromptu tag. Rayo seizing the opportunity. As we said, if you want to win the championship, you have to be in the matchup.
And I don't see Rayo going to work on the leg.
We said we're going to act like teammates. Yeah, there we go.
He's putting some pressure on that knee, Jim.
There are so many susceptible spots in the knee. The ACL, the MCL, the meniscus, the patella tendon, all susceptible to damage in that knee.
Kato able to launch Rayo over his legs.
Desperation maneuver from Kato, just trying to create some space, excuse me.
But with that, Scarlet was able to tag herself back in.
Ken, I don't want to doubt the toughness of Kato. He's as tough as they come. He's double tough, but he may be on borrowed time here.
Well, without your legs, you're not going to be able to do very much, Jim. Oh, he's fingertips away. Fingertips away.
You can see the desperation in the eyes of Kato and Crusher.
And every time she does that, Jim, that's torquing that knee even more.
And Scarlet is grinning like a Kesher cat.
10 minutes now, 10 minutes.
She needs to start thinking about going for a pin. And she does.
And you can see Kato, he has a sense of urgency in those eyes. And now she's just trying to asphyxiate her opponents. Again, I'm going to ask that PJ Parker has to assert some authority here. Kato avoided the contact and finally may have a chance to make it to Crusher.
And he has to make it to a corner to get the tag. Whether Crusher or whether it be AJ or Rayo, he has to get out of there, Jim.
How much does the 20-year veteran have in the tank?
Scarlet trying to hold him off.
And she is tearing at the singlet just to prevent Kato from making that tag. Kato with the right hand, tattooed Scarlet, simultaneous tags. In comes the big man. Kato finally made that tag, and Crusher making the most of it, hitting anything that moves in there. Anybody within striking distance. Hanson is feeling it. Hanson wants to claim those tag team championships. And the big man just bull rushes everybody.
What a series of lariats there, Jim.
And I believe Noir is legal. But Crusher is no more.
AJ with a tag.
Tagged himself in. AJ with the pin. Scarlet kicks out. AJ was very close to winning those championships. Very, very smart strategy from AJ Alexander.
Yeah, I don't like the guy, but that was a smart move, Jim. AJ, maybe looking for that one-winged angel?
It has been chaos all night.
Scarlet able to go out the back door.
Rolling elbow from the War may have KO'd Alexander. The mist is a miscue. Scarlet is blind. Scarlet can't see. Noir gets taken to the floor. In comes Rayo. Itsaguri right to the temple.
We're up.
They got it.
AJ able to hold her down for the 3. We got new champs.
34 seconds. Your winners of the brand new Fight Society Triple Crown Champions, the team of Rayo and AJ Alexander.
You want to talk about chaos. You want to talk about anything can happen on the Friday night fights.
AJ Alexander scored the winning pin.
anything can happen on the Friday Night Fights. Rayo and AJ Alexander, an impromptu addition, have won the Tag Team Championships. A brand new team and brand new champions. Wait a minute, Ken, that's Queen Aminata. We saw on social media she was announced to be here, but what is she doing here right now?
Well, let's see what Her Highness has to say.
The West African native is as devious as she is beautiful. She always has a strategy, and she said something to Scarlet. Aminata speaks 4 languages, and whichever one she just spoke to, I believe here's some continuity between Aminata, maybe a new partnership between Aminata and Scarlet. The Queen having an instant impact here in the Fight Society. And that one speaks for itself. So does that. Where does this leave Christian Noir? Where does this leave Team Fear?
Where does the grumpy old men go from here?
You know, we fought so hard for those titles for so long. It really sucks to lose them. So normally what happens right now is I'd probably turn on you. But I'm not. I wouldn't do that. Because
Just retire.
for the past 23 years, I call this place home. And for tonight, I call it home for the last time. So yes, shut your mouth, you little fucking asshole, while I'm talking. Okay? I'm sorry for what I had to say. First person I want to thank is Jim Miller. Me and Jim have always seen eye to eye in the 23 years. But thank you for giving me a place to come a few times a month for the past 23 years. Second, I want to thank Quinn for being such a good friend. And I want to thank everybody in this building for coming out week after week to support indie wrestling, to support myself. Whether I'm a good guy, a bad guy, doesn't matter, you were always there, cheering or booing, and I thank you for that.
And certainly we thank Crusher Hansen for a stellar career, a true cornerstone.
I'm leaving because I have to. I have some injuries I need to take care of. Quite frankly, I'm 46 years old. Probably the oldest guy on the roster still doing this. And I don't know if I have another year to stay and try to heal up and get back. So, this hurts because 23 years is a long time. And I love what I do. I love performing. I love being in this ring. And it saddens me. And there's guys in the back like Paul Atlas, my friend Cato, Shirley Doe, Dean, who I'll never share this ring with again, and all the other young guys coming up. But don't worry, because These young guys got it. They got it locked down. So with that said, thank you. It's probably not goodbye, but it's goodbye from right here. I love everybody. Thank you.
And thank you, Crusher Hansen, for 23 years, a true cornerstone of Pittsburgh professional wrestling, and a hell of a good man. Ultimate respect to Crusher Hansen. He is a hell of a guy, a hell of a talent, and he has my respect. Crusher, I take my hat off to you. Thank you for everything you've done for Pittsburgh professional wrestling.
Now we got the boss coming out. You know, Jim, those two are a great tag team for many years. Sticks and stones.
You want to talk about Pittsburgh icons? It's two in the ring right there. From a very heartwarming moment to a gut-wrenching moment, Troy Ward's, the man that broke his wrist earlier this year when he won the Fight Society Championship, returned to this building after over 6 months away and cost his one-time good friend Dean Radford a chance at the #1 contendership.
Dean's in the ring.
Radford's in the ring. Radford was one step ahead. Radford is here, and Radford is hell-bent on revenge.
Troy, you got to turn around, man.
And Radford just took Troy's head off. Dean Radford was on a path to honor his late cousin, the late great Ron the Beast Williams, and it was Troy roadblocking that path. And there is hell to pay for Troy Ward.
You know, Jim, these guys were really close friends for a long time. And it just like, seems like in the last year or two, I don't know what's went on. Whether Troy being jealous of Dean's success or what, but Troy's hung out to dry here.
This matchup is not about the rankings. This matchup is very, very personal.
Troy doing the only thing he could do is go to the eyes.
Troy was upset that Radford was the man as the commissioner of chaos that had to strip Troy of the title after Troy broke his wrist in 3 places. It wasn't Radford's fault that Troy got hurt. Let's be honest here. Radford did the only thing he could do to crown a new champion. And yes, Troy Ward's never lost that title. Troy Ward's has a legitimate claim to the Fight Society Championship. But I don't know why he had to try to interject himself in Radford's career.
And this is really his first match back since the injury, correct? Am I right on that, Jim?
Yes.
Troy with a single leg takes Dean down. Mounts the back and starts dropping punches.
And Troy like a pit bull. Radford using his trademark strength to create some space.
Yeah, Troy's definitely giving up size to Dean.
And this is a very, very physical contest, as we knew it would be. Radford squashes Troy in the corner. Shoots him off here. And he sent Troy into the lights. Radford wants to tear Troy to bits.
Dean maybe looking for that double chop again.
And Troy Ward's is paying for each and every one of his sins right now.
Troy trying to hold on to the turnbuckle so Dean can't pull him out of the corner. But the double chop makes him release the rope.
And Radford just runs Troy over. You know, Ken, what makes this story so confusing is, wait a minute, Radicator. Troy out the back door. What makes this story so confusing is that these two were best friends for many, many years. Oh, wait a minute, that's that surgically repaired wrist. Radford delivered a kick to the wrist, and immediately Troy seeking the safety of the outside.
Ref, you got to check on Troy here.
Ken, I think this matchup may be coming to an abrupt halt. Troy went to the floor immediately.
Wait, George just said TKO or KO or what?
Well, if Troy's hurt, I mean, the matchup, I guess, would be over. That's the doctor you're seeing there with Troy.
And Dean wants to go after Troy still.
Well, obviously he does. Dean Radford has no compassion for Troy Ward, and rightfully so, but we may be seeing...
I don't think a herd of zebras is going to stop Dean from going after Troy. We see the doctor attending to the wrist here.
Troy, as you said, it's his first matchup back, and he may be hurt again. But Radford doesn't care. Radford is incensed.
And we got security coming out.
Radford is clawing. He is doing anything just to get his hands on Troy Ward. Well, Ken, I mean, clearly Troy, he's re-injured his wrist. Radford is furious, but I mean, legally the ref has to stop the match when there's an injury, correct?
Exactly.
I mean, what else are we gonna do? I understand Dean's point.
And we're still waiting to
get
we're still waiting to get final word from Hank here.
It's a referee stoppage due to an injury to Troy Lord. Your winner by referee stoppage, Dean Radford.
Radford victorious, but a very unsatisfying win for the East Coast Killer. One thing we know, Ken, Whenever Troy Ward's heals up again, Radford will be there to attempt to break that wrist yet again. Wait a minute, what's... Troy's not hurt. He feigned an injury. What a scumbag.
What a genius. What a genius.
He feigned an injury to set Radford up. And now he's trying to choke Radford out.
He's going to take a loss in the Fight Society just to put Dean Radford out of business.
Troy Ward's is twisted, man. He's not all there. And he may try to end the career of Dean Radford. This is disgusting. Troy Ward's looking at that surgery scar on his wrist, and he may try to break the wrist of Radford.
We're going to need some help out here.
Troy Ward is on a mission to destroy Dean Radford. These two were best friends.
He's put his arm in the
for
chair.
a few decades.
You see this? You see this? This is your future, Dean.
Wait a minute. Troy has Dean's arm in that chair. Ward's is literally gonna try to snap the wrist of Dean Radford.
I don't think Dean's going anywhere but a trip to the hospital for a broken wrist.
No, we can't let that. Somebody needs to get out here right now. Quinn, anybody, somebody get out here.
Not yet. We still got a long time to go.
He's just going to leave Dean laying.
And this is more psychological warfare from Troy Ward's. He wants to torture Dean Radford.
I would say message sent, Jim.
Troy Ward's is disgusting. And unfortunately, I don't think this is the last we're going to see of Troy Ward's trying to destroy Radford.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.